forgive you for this.
We might have a lead on what happened to Lily.
We feel like we should check it out.
Yeah, of course. Do whatever it takes to keep the family safe.
So Matt Clark is free.
Just disappeared. Once he was released, he took off.
That means he could be anywhere. He could be on this ranch. How is this happening again?
The Young and the Restless. YNR. Spoilers reveal that Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, will take steps to end all the Matt Clark, Roger Howarth horror, so she'll surprise Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, when she admits what she's been up to. Sienna will bring Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, up to speed as well, but he won't like what he hears. Noah won't want Sienna getting caught up in the Matt mayhem again, but she may insist on doing whatever it takes to bring him down. Perhaps Sienna reached out to some contacts who were more loyal to her than Matt. Maybe Sienna called in a favor or two, and was able to nail down where Matt went after his apparent trip to Los Angeles. There's a good chance Sienna will point Sharon and Nick in the direction of Las Vegas. Sienna might find out that's where Matt was headed and pass that news along. While Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, was presumed deceased, he spent some time living another life as Spider in Vegas. In fact, Adam's past as Spider will be brought up during his conversation with Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, in YNR's March 9th episode. It seems likely that'll be mentioned to prepare fans for what's happening later during the week of March 9th to 13th. Sharon and Nick will seek Adam's help, so he'll probably go digging around and perhaps try to nail down a more precise location for Matt. Since Adam will ultimately deliver some important info to Nick, it sounds like he'll find what he's looking for. Nick may end up grateful to Adam if he's able to reach out to some old connections and confirm where Matt was last spotted. We've already seen behind-the-scenes hints about some new Vegas sets and a trip there involving Nick as well as Adam. It appears the Newman brothers will both land in Las Vegas soon for a Matt takedown mission. The Young and the Restless spoilers say things will inevitably get wild once this Vegas drama gets underway, so stay tuned for all the excitement. Back in Genoa City, the walls are closing in on Victor. Nikki, having discovered the truth about Jack's kidnapping, is pushed to her absolute limit. Sources suggest that Nikki will confront Victor and potentially issue an ultimatum, even threatening divorce if he doesn't return Jack safely. Meanwhile, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, finds herself in the uncomfortable position of defending her father's monstrous choices to an increasingly furious group of Genoa City residents. In other developments, the Newman brothers, Nick and Adam, unite for a common cause. While Jack is the primary concern, the specter of Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, continues to loom. Spoilers indicate that Adam comes through with shocking but valuable information that will send him and Nick on a trip to Las Vegas, potentially to eliminate the Matt threat for good. This collaboration marks a significant shift for the brothers, suggesting that extreme danger forces even the most bitter rivals to stand together. Week of March 23rd to 27th. Rescue, reunions, and the loose cannon. The final week of this 3-month period promises the climax of the Patty invasion and its fallout. Jack's family is racing against the clock. With Nikki potentially turning against Victor, the mustache may find himself isolated. Diane and Kyle are relentless in their search, and by this point, they may have pinpointed Jack's location. However, getting to him won't be easy. Patty, realizing her time with Jack is running out, could become increasingly unhinged. Her motives are shifting. What started as a job for Victor is turning into a final, desperate attempt to win Jack's love or, failing that, ensure that if she can't have him, no one can. Reports indicate that Jack will attempt to outsmart Patty, but he keeps falling into dangerous traps. His psychological battle with his captor will reach a fever pitch. Will he be able to appeal to whatever humanity is left inside her, or will Patty's obsession tip over into ultimate violence? This is, after all, the woman who has shot him before. On land, the aftermath of Victor's scheme begins to settle. Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, and her twins, who were also part of Victor's hostage situation, staged to look like a kidnapping to manipulate Kane and Lily, finally return home. Once back, Lily may admit to Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, that she initially helped Victor make everyone believe she was in danger. However, given the trauma of being held against her will when Victor extended the timeline, This confession leads to a complex emotional reunion. For Kane, the details matter less than the safety of his family, and spoilers hint at a potential romantic reunion for the pair. Why Patty? The method behind Victor's madness. To understand the depth of the upcoming drama, one must understand the history. Victor didn't just pick a random thug for this job. He picked a weapon of mass emotional destruction. Patty Williams has a decades-long history of terrorizing the Abbotts. She was once married to Jack, but after their divorce, her love curdled into a lethal obsession. She shot Jack at his wedding to another woman and later caused the car accident that led to the death of Colleen Carlton, Jack's niece. By using Patty, Victor is inflicting a unique brand of torture on Jack that goes beyond physical captivity. He is forcing Jack to confront a ghost from his past, a woman who represents the absolute worst of his personal history. Furthermore, by placing Patty with Jack, Victor effectively weaponizes Diane's jealousy and fear. Diane knows what Patty is capable of, and the thought of her husband trapped with that woman is a psychological attack on her marriage. The fallout: what happens when Patty is done? As these 3 weeks conclude, Genoa City will be irrevocably changed. If Mariah crosses paths with Patty in a mental ward, we could see a new, twisted alliance form. Patty has always been a survivor and a manipulator within the system. She could become a mentor figure to Mariah in the worst possible way, teaching her how to harbor rage and plot revenge. For Jack, survival is only the first step. The trauma of being held captive by a woman who once tried to kill him will leave deep scars. His marriage to Diane will face the ultimate test. Will Diane be able to look at her husband without seeing him through the lens of Patty's obsession? Finally, Nikki's relationship with Victor hangs in the balance. She has tolerated his schemes for decades, but kidnapping her friend and subjecting him to a mentally unstable woman may be the line that cannot be uncrossed. The next 3 weeks on The Young and the Restless promise a descent into darkness, driven by a villainess who proves that the most dangerous threats aren't always the ones with guns. Sometimes, they're the ones with a key to the yacht cabin and a heart full of poison memories. The Young and the Restless. YNR. Recap for Monday, March 9th, reveals that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, will have a proposal for Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, while Patty Williams, Stacey Hayduk, is forced to turn down Jack Abbott's, Peter Bergman, pitch. On the yacht in Monday's YNR episode, Patty will insist she's been rehabilitated, but Jack will obviously be skeptical. Even so, Patty will talk about all the work she did on herself and how she's now seeking redemption. Patty will want to help Jack heal too, and will hope for his forgiveness. After Patty leaves Jack alone for a bit, she'll return with a food and beverage cart. Jack will be reluctant to consume anything, but Patty will taste everything first so he can be sure he's not being poisoned. Once Jack admits he's